All right, so I'm going to put two different things on here that are just ways to think about organizing the taxonomic categories: domain, kingdom, phylum, class, order, family, genus, and species. And this is the first one that we'll look at. If we were in class together more, I might put these up on the screen and kind of do this as a quick bell ringer or something. But notice that we've got 4 organisms across the top, and you're just being asked a couple of specific questions here about them. Okay, so the organisms that are the most closely related are going to be the house cat and the mountain lion, and that's because they're both in the same domain, the same kingdom, the same phylum, the same class, the same order, the same family, and even the same genus. Okay, they are different species though: Felis domesticus and Felis concolor. Okay, and so just also real quick before we go to number 2, notice that all the genus names are capitalized and italicized, and the species or scientific names are also capitalized for the genus. Everything else is lowercase, and then they are italicized since this is typed text. Okay, you would write this whole scientific name for yourself, Homo sapiens. You would write it with a capital H, but then you would underline, okay, both parts, Homo and sapiens. And remember the second part here and here, that is the specific epithet. The first part is the genus. Okay. The 4 organisms have several classification levels or taxa in common. They are all in domain Eukarya because they're made of eukaryotic cells. They're all in kingdom Animalia. Check your kingdom chart for all the characteristics of animals. They're all in phylum Chordata, right, and that is going to include vertebrate animals. They're all in class Mammalia, animals, or specifically vertebrates that have hair or fur and feed their young milk from mammary glands. Okay, those are the only 4 levels that they have in common, because notice over here, in order, primates diverge or split off from the other 3. The other 3 are carnivores, in order Carnivora. Okay, and then this is just number 3, asking you to just list Eukarya, Animalia, Chordata, and Mammalia. Okay, and then the lowest or least inclusive taxon, where the mountain lion and the domestic dog share common characteristics, so our middle 2 columns. Okay, if we follow down, we get to Carnivora. Okay, so order Carnivora, and then we see again a split or a divergence here. So this would be your answer to number 4, order Carnivora. Okay, and I'm going to use order as an example of one more thing to explain here. So if 2 organisms, 3 organisms, whatever, if they are in the same order, okay, then they have to also be in the same class, the same phylum, the same kingdom, and the same domain. Okay, so all of these carnivores are going to be, everything above that is going to be the same. Okay, another way to think about this is that if also you've got 2 organisms that are in different orders, like Carnivora and Primata, okay, that they are still, if this is where your divergence is, they still have to share everything above that, okay, because that's where the split is, right? If 2 organisms are in the same order, maybe they're in the same family. So these 2, Felidae, they're in the same family, but notice we've got a split here. So we've got a similarity in order, but we've got a difference in the family. Okay, but the lower you get down in a taxonomic scheme, everything above it for 2 species, if it's the same here, for example, at family, all this has to be the same. Okay, and then one other thing I was going to say is that your different examples of specific epithets here, those can apply to other genera. Okay, so in theory you could have a Felis sapiens, or a Felis familiaris, okay, or a Canis concolor, or a Canis sapiens. So because those are adjectives, those can be used for other genera as well. Okay, and so then this, if we just look on the left side, you've got order Lepidoptera, which tells you that that's butterflies and moths, family Vespidae, order Hymenoptera, which is bees and wasps and other insects that sting. You've got a yellow jacket, kingdom Animalia, class Insecta, and phylum Arthropoda. Okay, so in your outermost circle here, we would put our largest taxon, which is going to be kingdom Animalia. Okay, this is the whole nested boxes concept. Then we'd have phylum Arthropoda. Okay, then we'd have class Insecta. right? And then we've got two circles, so we're going to have a split here as far as that we've got to put two different things there, okay? Notice you've got two different orders, okay? And then notice it tells you a little information about both of those. And you've got family Vespidae and then also a yellow jacket, okay? So hopefully we all know that yellow jackets sting, all right? So I'm going to put order Hymenoptera over here. And then that means I'm going to put Lepidoptera over here by itself. All right, and then family Vespidae. Don't have enough room. And then there's my yellow jacket. Okay, so just another way to think about comparing different organisms and different levels of classification, the whole nested boxes concept. Let me know if you have questions.